it do?
Good evening.
Man, I'm always trying to be real smooth with my whole
intro,
sharing the Facebook move, and then right when I get ready to do it, something goofy will happen.
Yeah, no, it's Facebook is tripping right now, so
yeah, and it make me feel like a lame. So I'm trying to not be a lame.
Don't be a lame. Yes,
yeah.
Don't be a lame.
Gentlemen, everybody share the show to your page. Take a moment, and as the show goes on, I'll continue to remind the viewers to do that. Y'all can do that too for me, please. Everybody good, man? I missed y'all. Seemed like a long week.
It was a long week.
It has been a long week.
Yeah, like that.
I have a confession, but I'll let everybody introduce themselves first. But I want to start off the show with a confession.
Okay, sure. I got a confession.
Randy Stress. Hey, man, great to have you on with us, man. About 30 seconds, man. Give us some highlights, man, about who you are, what you do, how you came onto the show. We're glad to have you, but yeah, run that down. Run them numbers for us real quick.
All right, I'm Randy Stress. I got the Stress Free Zone TV show on YouTube. Randy Stress on IG. I'm an Emmy Award winning stage manager for ESPN College Game Day. I'm a writer. I have a few things going on. That's me.
Good, man. We glad to have you, man. I just saw my shit fall in the room. Drew Jones, I see you. Thanks for joining in. Man, let's run around real quick, get these introductions out, and chop it up, man. Robert Hazzard. Let's start with
Hazzard. Okay, I'm Robert Hazzard. I'm a business strategist with the Hazzard Group here in Chicago. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. You say that like you're a guest. Robert is one of the
moving along
of the show. So the total gent.
What's happening, Captain?
Run them numbers, total gent.
Man, I'm chilling. Mel Roberson, television and film actor, stage actor too, but currently on Chicago PD season 8. I was playing the same homicide detective I've been playing. 6-time Amazon best-selling author, about to be the 7th as soon as Lessons for Little Boys comes out. And yeah, I do a lot of stuff, and that's it.
I do a lot of stuff, and I drink whiskey.
I do a lot of stuff.
Glenn Murray.
Hi, I'm Glenn, and as you can see from down below, I'm an Aries. It's Aries season, so all the Aries look to your left and look to your right, and apologize for being so amazing. That's all. I'm done. It's a brown liquor night, fellas. Let's get to it.
Yeah, we're gonna come back because I'm finally back drinking. So we're gonna come back to your confession too, Mr. Murray. But I'm Shawn Mason. I have served as the host of the show for some 40, 50 weeks. I don't know. We're coming up on a year, so we're getting close to 50 weeks. It's been an awesome time. I am a professional photographer as well as a singer from time to time. Much like these other brothers, I will be, for the first time, a contributing author to Lessons for the Little Boy 2, which I'm really, really excited about because I've always wanted to. Being an author is something that I've always had my sights on. So I think this is a great start for me.
Great chapter, too. I got to read your chapter. Great job.
I tried to be as transparent, as humble, and as humble as I could with it, man. So, yeah, I hope other people enjoy it as well, man. So, everybody out there in TV land, streaming TV land that's watching us, please share the show to your page for us right now as we are continuing to build our membership. We're glad that you guys are with us, and we're doing our best to watch the threads as they come down as well. So before we get into what everybody probably wants us to get into, Glenn, I'm gonna have you kick off the Georgia voting rules situation.
Okay.
Why don't we do that first? Because we know the time is gonna zoom by when we start talking about this other thing.
Yeah, I know that's gonna go fast. So really quickly, Georgia just signed into law a very restricted voting act. Basically, they made it a crime to actually give people water while they're in line, which is outrageous. But I think that's just kind of a decoy for what the real law gets into. basically what the law says is that if they disagree with any county election commission's election result, the legislature, which is Republican control, gets to take over that election and basically declare the winner. So if you think about that scenario, Fulton County, DeKalb County, two of the most populous counties in Georgia, both went Democrat this year or past year. They could literally step in and say, we think there were election irregularities, and we're going to throw out the 11,000 votes that Joe Biden won by, and we're going to declare Donald Trump the winner. So now in any instance, they can actually go in and do that. So while we're yelling about the water thing, which is bad because that's a misdemeanor now if you give somebody water while they're in a voting line, which on average lasts 5 hours in those two counties, it's a bigger travesty and a bigger criminal act to be able to literally flip an election because you can declare irregularities, and I put that in air quotes. So that's the gist of it. There's a lot of other things they restricted. I think voting now ends at 5 or 6 o'clock. So most people would have to get off work, take a day off work to vote, things like that. Just anything they could to limit it. And, keep in mind, no voting irregularities were found in Georgia, but they needed an election security law. So that's the meat of it.
Okay. And is this already instituted? Is there
Governor signed it into law yesterday. Governor signed it into law Thursday.
And
somebody got arrested in the process.
Yep.
Yeah.
State rep.
for knocking on the door, right?
Yep, that was the state rep while he was signing the bill behind closed
State
doors.
rep.
Now, keep in mind, there's already been, I think, 3 lawsuits filed against it, so it's going to go through the court system. So, it's still yet to be determined, but the fact that this is happening and there's 42 other states that are trying to put together restrictive voting laws, that's happening right now. So I know Congress has passed a voting rights, kind of a new voting rights act, I forget the name of it, and the Senate has to debate it as well, but that's going to be hard to get through. So it's an assault on voting rights for the people that don't vote enough, that decided to go to the polls in November and really change the course of this country. So we need to all pay attention to it. Georgia's just a tipping point.
Yeah, I guess that it's what I'm calling it is voter backlash is becoming pretty common because I felt like a whole lot of stuff that happened when 45 got into office was just backlash from people still angry that Barack had gotten into office. So I think the phenomenon of political backlash is just a very real thing, and as my older brother would say, people vote their hate versus their interest.
Right.
And it's
this isn't about voting ideas. This is let me eliminate enough people so that I can win. Now that's what it really is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
But
I'm still in a house in Ghana if y'all want to come.
The saddest part about this whole thing is so many of us don't take the election seriously. So not enough of us will get out there to have numbers where they can't contest it. So they bank on the fact that we will. There's so many of us, my vote don't count. I'm so sick of that. How close were these last elections? And so many of us still say my vote don't count.
Right. And don't think they're not looking at the numbers. 3% of everybody in Georgia doesn't have a license or an ID. And part of the law requires you to have either a state issued ID, which is free, or a driver's license to be able to vote absentee. But that's 200,000 votes. 200,000 votes. Joe Biden won by 11,000.
Right.
Reverend Warnock won by probably 20. John Ossoff won by, 25, 30. But you start thinking about that and you just peel off. If I can peel off a little bit everywhere, it's a numbers game. And if I can peel off enough people to discourage the vote, then I can flip this election. And
it's another case of old white men fearing change. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And you got to think Georgia is the tipping point for a lot, because had Georgia not flipped, nobody would be having checks right now. So all of you enjoying your checks, you can thank Stacey Abrams and all the other get out the vote operations in Georgia for those. Because if Georgia Joe would have been enough. Yeah.
Hey Randy, that's your woke Negroes. I'm just gonna go on and say it. That's just my vote don't count, and it amazes me that every day on social media I'm still seeing people of color.
Yeah, I know. I see it too. I never want to punch people in the throat till they start talking about their vote not counting.
Yeah, bashing Joe or mentioning the whole massaging the shoulders thing, and I'm like, okay, so did you want the coochie grabber to stay in? Like, I don't.
Isn't that funny? I'm like, when is touching the shoulder worse than grabbing the coochie?
Dude, I guess when they decide it's work. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's
There's a flip flop there.
It's the stuff in the world to me. When
And it's the Southern strategy all over again. It's just coming back to Honnison from the late 60s, 68. If you look at the Southern strategy, 68, 72, driving people away from voting, and anything you can do to discourage people, the low-level voters who only come out every 4 years usually to vote for president. Anyway.
And I think there are a few things as dangerous as a dummy who thinks they're smart.
Yeah.
And that brings me to poor white voters who vote against themselves just because they don't like a Negro getting that.
Right.
Look, Dave Chappelle said it best. He said they say he's fighting for us. He's like, no, he's fighting for me because his policies benefit people that got a little bread. Like, you too broke. He don't care nothing about you in your backwoods town. He's not fighting for you. You have a common enemy in people of color. And so that's why you ride coattail with him. But his policies don't benefit you. Like, what are you? He's fighting. Dave said the tiki torch whites are his least favorite. Yeah, man. But anyway, let's get into, man, what we're all waiting to get into. And
I have a confession, Shawn. Before we do that, point of order. Can I yield the floor? I want to admit something. I'm really sorry.
Put nobody in a bonnet next to you before you do that.
Yeah, if that happened, I'd probably be in the bonnet.
It wasn't a bonnet. It was not a bonnet.
I realized it wasn't a bonnet. However, Mel, it looked like a bonnet.
It looks like a bonnet to me, but
it was not a bonnet. I looked at it closely today. It was not a bonnet.
I don't wear one, so I don't know.
My confession. Can I get with my confession, gentlemen, please?
Yeah,
Can I finish? I'm trying to be serious. If I can be serious for a moment.
Go ahead, Usher.
Okay.
Jesus.
Usher, go ahead.
All right. So I just want to admit that I was unfaithful in my marriage to Janet Jackson over the last 25 years. I've been married to Janet Jackson in my mind, but I've been unfaithful to her most of the time.
Mel has left the building.
I know. Not only Janet, I was unfaithful to Sanaa Lathan too, but I think she dumped with Robert from what I found out last week, and I didn't know about that. I know. So Janet Jackson, I was unfaithful to her. Tika Sumpter briefly before she got married, I was unfaithful to her. Salma Hayek, Nicole Scherzinger, and a couple of other Pussycat Doll girls too. But I just I needed to put my soul out there and just bare it to people and let them know.
You feel better?
You feel better? Are you?
Wait a minute.
Breathe.
I cannot get that minute and 37 seconds of my life back.
Okay, I'm better now. Let's go. What are we talking about? Let's go. I had to,
No, sir, you cannot. You cannot.
I feel better now, though. I'm relieved. I got that off my chest.
It's not even Sunday.
I know, really.
And just so you know, Janet and Sanaa and Tika were all my side pieces while you thought they were your main.
I knew it. They said they wanted a man that could sing. I knew it was you. I should have known all along.
Well, I can sing too now. Let's,
Hey, I'm at 2 minutes and 42 seconds of my life I can't get back.
So check this out, man. I spent a little time watching some of that stuff because social media was giving me enough that I really didn't need to watch this stuff myself. But I spent a little time this evening watching what I could because it annoys you so bad that you can't just ride through the whole thing. And of course, the first video I watched was Charlemagne talking about it, which was difficult enough because he annoys the hell out of me a lot. It just seemed like, man, outside of the obvious, right? The hypocrisy, outside of the obvious. This is a situation, man, that had he not postured like he was this perfect dude, he would have been able to navigate and manage this without a whole lot of drama. If he'd have gotten out in front of this, like most people do and say, look, I'm not perfect. I have some things in my past. And, anything that might come up and somebody can use against you, you need to give yourself because you take their power away with it. So, he gave that babe the power of letting her break it, first of all. But secondly, dude, if you just say what it is and not act like that, I think that was the thing about him that irked me so much watching him is that he always came off this pompous kind of know-it-all, kind of in-your-face kind of dude. And it's like, you know what, dude, you can't be as tight as you claiming you are just because of the way you posture, you know. But Mel, talk to me. You got something else?
So to my understanding, first of all, I didn't even know who this guy was until all of this stuff started happening.
I didn't know his name. I knew his face and knew what he did.
I mean, I've seen a couple of memes or pictures of some, but I don't pay attention to dudes like that. I mean, that just ain't my thing. Nothing against people if that is your thing. It's just not mine. But
because I'm 100% heterosexual, so that doesn't.
Yeah. So the thing that got me though was well, not even the thing that got me. Shawn, you say if you get out ahead of this. So supposedly he was releasing this book or something where he talked about, oh yeah, you know, I wasn't 100% faithful in my marriage, blah blah blah. This happened some years ago. So he called himself getting out in front of it, but then his side piece was like, nah, 2 weeks ago you were at my house. Here are the text messages or whatever. You know what I mean? So he did try to present himself as somebody who wasn't perfect and had messed up before or whatever. Now, in my mind, and I could be wrong, but in my mind, to me, it feels more like a marketing thing than anything else. You know what I mean? Here's my book. Here's all the stuff I'm doing, because there's no such thing as bad press. And there are going to be people that want to see even more from him now, unfortunately, than they did before. You know what I mean? Like there might be a shift in his audience, but to a certain degree or extent, he's still remaining relevant with a large amount of people, and people keep talking about it. So as long as people are talking about it, he's going to have some sort of relevance.
Well, I think he has to get past being dog walked about it. You know, he's people are just trashing him at this point. If they get past the trashing point, you know, and they're talking about it, then I think that he's maybe come out on the other side. They're like 13 parodies on YouTube. I mean, he's getting dragged like really, really bad right now. Randy, what do you know about it? Talk to me.
I was gonna say he gave angry, jaded women ammo to give single, non-cheat men hell for no damn reason at all.
We already can't get the benefit of the doubt, Randy, and then he just, you know.
Look, ladies, if a guy comes off perfect, he is full of shit. Right. All of us are flawed, period.
Yep.
Speak for yourself, bro.
Yeah, come on now, don't.
I'm just kidding. I
know. I can take a joke.
Hey, the funniest thing, though, this is the funniest thing I've heard about the whole thing. All of his videos, dude, were made from the car.
Yep.
But his video after it was made from the crib. And everybody's going, did the wife even know he was making these videos? He hadn't made them in the house. It was all from the car. And now that it's out, all of a sudden you see him at this desk in the crib. Like, okay, she had no idea what this Negro was doing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He couldn't come home. That's why he made it from the car.
She knew. He can't have that many followers and she don't know.
I'm in the car.
He's the king, though.
Well, let me ask
wrong. What you doing is wrong. All the men don't believe none of them. Wait a minute. Let me go. Hold on.
Wait. Let me ask you this, and I accept whatever criticism I get by posing this question. But based on the magnitude and the flammability of that situation, she did come on and make that video looking tired than a mug. Is there some significance to that to anybody? Like, does anybody think that, you know, you're thinking, okay, as bad as this is, do you want to come on looking like you off your meds? I mean, she looked bad.
I think she's mentally beat down and she is sick of all the bull, and it shows in her body language. Her body language told a story that was totally opposite from the BS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I saw a Instagram post of her today where she's made and looks good, and so you know she's capable of it because I saw it. But she look like you said, though, I think that she's mentally exhausted. She's probably trying to help him salvage, you know, what it looks like is a dwindling 15, 20 minutes of fame or whatever, and it's probably exhausting her.
But Shawn, put yourself in, if Sanaa, since she was cheating on her with me, if Sanaa went out and like stepped out on you and was like, okay, Shawn, we gonna do this video. I need you by my side right now. I know you ain't been by my side for the whole 6 years that I've been doing it, but we're gonna lose my contract. I got Best Man series is coming out or something, and I need you to be right there by me. You're gonna look crazy as hell because you're gonna be pissed off. Like, I know she didn't just ask me to do this, to sit here by her side, and men won't do it, don't get me wrong, but think about it. Put yourself in her place.
Are you saying that your suspicion is she did that intentionally to devalue his message? That's what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm not saying she did it.
I don't think that
intentionally. I'm empathizing with her, and I think that's the one thing. There's only one loser in this, and that's the wife. When somebody steps out, the wife loses because, number one, you lose the sacred bond that is marriage. That's the first thing you lose. You lose the bond between you and your mate because now here's another woman describing your mate in intimate details that shouldn't happen. So your stress level is that they've got kids. So now you're worried about, if we do break up, how do I break this to the kids? How do I explain this to the kids and everything? So I think people went in on her, and I don't agree with people going in on her like it was her fault that he did all this stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
The problem is, there's nothing wrong with being able to tell women, stay away from this guy and everything else. But when you sit in judgment and then use God as your wingman while you're doing it, then there's a problem with that. Not to get all spiritual, but stuff comes back on you when you do things like that.
Yeah.
When you knowingly deceive people and make millions off of it.
Now are very Jesus heavy.
Yeah. So you sit in your car. No, you shouldn't do this. John Gray, you was wrong. And I got Jesus, and I got a godly message, and God, Jesus. Here's what you should do every 5 seconds. Yeah, that stuff will come back on you because it's wrong. Yeah. And you knowingly are out there tipping around and doing it, then it's wrong. You're taking advantage of a lot of people, and there are a lot of women, and I could go after the women who followed him too for believing it. Because you bought it hook, line, and sinker, millions of you. He's got almost 1 million followers, and he sold millions of copies of his book. But
the information that he gave doesn't necessarily have to be wrong because his character is.
I'm not saying it's wrong. But it's wrong to go after other people for doing what you're doing too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's hypocritical, but I think that he was on. Mel, you said you didn't watch him, but he was very popular in the Atlanta market. He was on Sister Circle. I've watched it, a couple of times. This was prior to him getting married, so he was, sucking in his women audience. One of the things too that, Shawn, you mentioned in terms of the wife not looking that great. If you look back, I'm gonna have to have some of that you're showing there. If you look back at their wedding pictures. They have a history. He was a football player as well. Randy, he played football. So she's been with him for a long time. Church, we've seen some pictures of them at church, him using the Bible. So I think, but I think he took an opportunity to play off her weaknesses. Because if you look back at some of her posts and things like that, there's some things that have been bugging her for a minute. So I think what Mel was saying in terms of, there's some good things that he told women. I think there is, but it's all went to hell in a handbasket now.
Well, like I said, I even said that oftentimes I agree with him. I said he annoyed me even when I did agree with him. So I'm not at all discounting the merit of his messaging at times. But I also think that we have, much like we talked about the truce last week and how Black men and Black women particularly have this thing about going at each other and, breaking each other down and devaluing each other. I think that there is a boatload of women because he will come from men real hard.
Oh
yeah. And
he had a diverse audience. He didn't just have Black women following. He had a pretty diverse audience too.
Yeah.
But here's my point. My point is you have and I'm only making it gender specific because I'm a man and I don't date men, I date women.
That's good.
But you have a boatload. Thanks, Robert. You have a boatload of women who, by design, they can't wait to hear a brother dogging a brother about their behavior, about their you know their merit, their character, and he doesn't even have to be right. Just the fact that it's coming from the mouth of another man.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt that he's built and
That's what I was
looks
gonna
good.
say.
He's a good-looking dude, according to women. He looks good. I don't judge men. But according to women, he was good-looking. So it does help women when the messenger looks good. Y'all tend to listen a little bit better. If he looked like buckwheat, you wouldn't be talking about Derek that much, and you wouldn't be.
Look, here's the thing.
Let's be real.
Right.
Here's the thing. It makes more sense to me now that I know he's out of Atlanta, because there are a lot of jaded women in Atlanta. Because brothers there, let's just be real. I got friends down there. Brothers in Atlanta ain't shit. And because brothers in Atlanta ain't shit, it's room for guys like this to come out here and tell these women everything they want to hear, because they've seen it so much that they are willing
to that.
I'm gonna need to go get a drink. I'm off camera now.
Since we went church and talked about the Bible, here's something to remember, ladies. The devil puts a little truth in every lie he tells.
All right now, Randy.
Okay.
All right, Reverend Rand.
I hate guys like this. I'm sorry, because it takes me back to that Steve Harvey book where he had all these women believing that garbage, and I'm sitting there going, he ain't met all men. How could you believe him saying all men if I can't say all? I can't say all women.
I can't say all women, because women go off. If I say something about women right now, I can guarantee you somebody will pop up. Not all women. It's like a trigger.
Say all women. Like say some of them, and you'll get cussed out.
I know, really. Right. That's true. Right. But you know, it's like a minister told me one time. The devil's not gonna come at you with something you don't like. So he's going to send it to you in a very visibly appealing package so that it'll get your ear, your eye, and all of that. And get their total attention.
And look, I just got a message from Tree. Tree, I did not say all women. I'm just saying in Atlanta.
I just saw it. She just posted. She's already in there. Not all of us.
Down there where it's easy for women down there to believe all the bullshit he said.
Right. Hey, Tree, not all women listen either, because he just said not all women. So you just not all women listen either.
Hey, I'm glad you said that, Randy.
Glenn, you win. That is your highlight of the year. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, look, hey, Randy. I say what I want to say, because I tell people all the time, I'm from the South Side. I can fight. So what? You don't like what I said?
I got to the street. We'll take it to the street. Hey, Randy, and then plus, which you were kind enough to not address, because you don't feel like the smoke, I'm sure. But me and Glenn and Mel are so used to people hating us for what we say. We have stopped bridling our tongue. But you know, of the guys that might be quality in Atlanta, you got a whole lot of them that would be more interested in him than her.
It's okay. I've had more women leave me because of this show than I did in high school girlfriends. I couldn't keep.
And I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it makes the women a lot more open to the messaging from a cat like that, because the numbers out there are low.
And but everybody wants to hear what they want to hear. Like if Halle Berry decided she was going to start giving relationship advice and started telling women, y'all need to treat your man like a king, we'd all follow her for a little while.
Here's something that women need to know. I'm a songwriter. I write screenplays. I write TV shows. I host a show. But guess what? If I was married, you're going to see my wife. Because ain't none of y'all finna come with no BS. I was with her husband. No, you wasn't. She was right here. Everywhere I go, she's going to be on all my social media. All of it.
And that's how
I don't know who she is yet.
When you find her, yeah.
Hey, Randy, somebody get paid off of you if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do it that way, because somebody get. And let me just say something about the Steve Harvey thing.
Why we on relationship experts?
Right.
Hey, look, Glenn, while I'm growing my mustache.
Go.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Steve Harvey, man. Again, I don't attack him, demonize him, whatever. He's made his killing and done his thing, but he says things that are so counter sometimes that they are hard to swallow. Like I always say that he shouldn't run around here saying, and we've talked about it on the show, men and women can't be friends. We've talked about that. You know, he stands on that like it is gospel, and it is some of the wrongest shit I've ever heard anybody say, right? Everybody in this circle, and Randy, I'm just meeting you, but I would not be surprised if you didn't have close platonic friendships that you have. We all have those.
I got 4 of them on this feed right now, and they'll all tell you I ain't slept with none of them.
You see what I'm saying? And so, but the one that he does, man, that really, really blows me is the whole 90-day sex thing. Like if that's what you want to do, then do it. Make that decision quietly and privately, and you do that. But the minute you tell a man that he can't sleep with you for 90 days, then that no longer becomes a space that you guys meet in the mutual. It becomes
no longer comfortable,
weaponizing, and you're dangling over him until he proves his worth to you. And so making love, which is supposed to be this beautiful shared experience, is never that again, simply because it became something he had to earn right out the gate.
Look, I'm about to say something that's going to be controversial. I had a 4-year relationship with someone that I slept with on the first night, and we're still friends to this day.
Look, that's 20 years controversial. I got a buddy who who slept with his wife of 20-something years the first night. It's an energy thing.
Yeah,
it's an energy thing. And guess what? I've had a year relationship where we never slept together.
Yeah. So are we having like confessional moments now in terms of
no, we're not.
Okay,
you got one.
I was just trying to think who has it been for me? Come back to
I haven't heard anything from the voice of reason up there.
Oh, he's gonna come. He's thinking about it.
He's not in the
I came over here ready for everything you had. I was all hyped like that.
Which means at some point.
I came all hyped for that.
He's gonna come.
Bring it.
He's gonna bring it. He ain't cooking nothing tonight, so
he's like
sitting there thinking about it.
It's like a slow boil. He's like it's a slow boil.
Come on.
Yeah. Notice when he does this. When he starts doing this.
When I make my Malcolm X pose.
He gets up here like this. That's when you know.
When he comes in, right?
It's coming in.
When he comes in, get that close up.
I have to say one more thing about the women of Atlanta. Women of Atlanta, I'm not dogging y'all. I just want to say something. When I first got to Atlanta, I was there for 2.5 years. I had women who would see this eyebrow ring, and they'll go, "Does that eyebrow ring mean you gay?" I was like, "I've had this eyebrow ring since I was a kid. It's from my African studies." I said, "What make you think that?" She's like, "Well," and I heard a lot of them say this. "I think guys with piercings are gay." I was like, "How many guys have you slept with that wound up being down lows?" Well, it happened a few times. Any of them have eyebrow rings?
Any of them have piercings? I know, really.
They was like, well, no. Don't you think that's a stupid statement? If every down low you done messed up and found didn't have an eyebrow ring, then maybe you should shut up and leave the eyebrow ring guy alone and realize he is straight.
Right.
Maybe you're looking for the wrong thing. Maybe you're looking at the eyebrows. You should be looking at the dress and the buddies and all of that. You maybe need to look at the circle.
I used to see them with their guys, and I'm like, yo, dude, checking me out harder than you, and you still don't realize it? Like,
right.
Okay, well, that's Atlanta.
A man has to walk through Lenox Mall like he ready to fight. Like you walking on the street, just in case. You have to be like,
okay, look, I got a confession now that you said that.
Somebody look at me wrong. You seriously be ready to scrap up in Lenox Mall. I lived in Atlanta for 2 years too, so I know.
Look,
I had that problem too much though.
I walked through Lenox Mall my 3rd week in Atlanta. I walked past this gay dude who said, "You got pretty eyes. I take a compliment wherever I can get it." I was like, "Thank you." Kept on walking. And then he was like, "Hey, can I get your number?" I was like, "Yo, that ain't my thing, bro. I appreciate the compliment. That ain't my thing." So I kept walking. He grabbed my hand.
Oh,
shit.
All my LGBTQ friends gonna be mad at this, but I turned around and knocked his tooth clean out his mouth. The funny part was where I was petty because security came and they came at me first because he's gay and I'm straight. And then one of the gay guys luckily was like, "Hold on." The straight dude was minding his own business. He gave him a compliment. He was polite about it. He didn't get mad. He kept walking. He grabbed his hand. He's like, and I would have hit him too if he had grabbed my hand. So he said, but the petty thing he did was when he fell to the ground, he picked his tooth up and threw it, which I did. Because I'm not a guy that's going to beat a guy that's on the ground. If you're on the ground, you're on the ground. But I did. That's my confession. I'm sorry. Right. Friends know this. You already know this. I picked it up and threw it because I was so mad. I felt so disrespected. I was like, and threw his tooth down the hall because I'm like, I I was nice. I said thank you.
You went from being the world's most polite dude, being able to take a compliment from a gay dude, to the world's pettiest dude by throwing his teeth at him.
And knocking his teeth out.
Very stressed. Look,
Knocking his teeth out.
That's the thing about me. I'm so polite. My father raised me where you don't need to be you don't be ignorant, but you don't let anybody disrespect you. I'll talk to you first. But once it crosses that line, like I'm gonna give you what you asked for. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid not to. I hate fighting.
There must be something about that Lenox Mall piece. Because you know what, when I go through there, a guy told me about I had pretty eyes.
Yeah. See?
Wait a minute, I'm mad now. Nobody ever gave me a compliment about my eyes.
I am not kidding you.
They're not pretty, Glenn.
You know,
yeah.
I am not kidding you. It is something about Lenox Mall. I looked at them and said, I am straight. You don't have to worry about me. I'm straight. I like
But I kept going there because that's the only place where I can get Garrett's popcorn. That's the only reason I kept going.
I know they do have Garrett's there.
They do have Garrett's popcorn. Yeah. I think it's in the.
But I learned to go through the back door because it's closer. I don't have to walk through the mall.
You would say you learned to go through the back door.
Yeah, I did.
We talking about, oh my God. In the
they have some nice clothes stores there. They got some nice clothing stores too.
Mel is rehearsing for the next time.
I told you. Mel is sitting there thinking, what the hell is going on right now? We have lost control of this show.
Hey, everybody's putting their 2 cents in. I don't have any spare change for this one. That's all.
Yeah.
My boy Cameron watching. Shut up, Cameron.
What's going on? Hey man, let's talk about your daughter's success this weekend.
Who? Oh, my baby girl. Yeah, she hit the record books at her school. She's a Division I athlete. She's track and field team at SMU, and she's has the 7th best time in Southern Methodist University history in the 100-meter dash. So, and she's just a freshman.
Awesome. Oh,
so
wow. Awesome.
But I mean, she's a long jumper primarily. And I was like, how are your jumps? She was like, oh, they sucked. But I did great in 100. She was like, I didn't jump well at all this weekend. But I did great in 100. So it was a personal record for her. She came in 2nd overall and 7th in the history of SMU. So really excited about what the future holds for her. Matter of fact, I bought her a car today. So
you bought her a car?
Yeah,
nice.
I bought her a car today.
Awesome.
So, not because she did well in the race. I mean,
Right?
Yeah.
Is that because
I don't know, but I said congratulations.
Yeah.
Well,
no doubt.
Yeah, congrats to her. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're talking our celebratory stories. I have to celebrate my nephew, man, who hates this kind of attention. But my nephew's he's a film studies graduate from DePaul University in Greencastle, and he only had 4 schools he applied to. One of which was the American Film Institute, I want to say. The other one was USC. The third one might have been Columbia. And then the 4th one was maybe New York something. But the 4th one was the one he was least concerned about. And he has been accepted to both USC and the American Film Institute, which were the 2 he had his sights set on. So I'm super proud of my nephew, man. He's he's 23 years old, man. He's a dog. He's hungry. He's trying to make it happen. Sometimes I have to remind him that he's 23. Like you ain't gotta be a millionaire at 23, dude. It's okay. Just don't miss 23. And 23 is a time of fun and leisure. You can get your work in, but don't miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like don't work so hard that you don't experience being 23 because you don't come back around.
Yeah, I had a first this week as well.
Is that right? The first time?
Oh my God! Okay.
Janet.
No, I got an inbox. Somebody actually, you won't believe this one. Somebody reprimanded me for being mean to Mel.
What?
Oh,
I know. Of all people,
Mel has been successful, dude, in making people watching the show think he is this nice dude, and they don't know that before the show starts, his foot is up our asses, and I know. It ends. His foot is up our asses. He's a great actor. He is a great actor.
No. That proves it right there. That proves
No. The people watching this.
And this was a friend of mine. This wasn't his friend. This is a friend of mine.
So he or she knows you know.
Why are you hating on Mel? Like,
So
really?
he or she knows you well enough to know that your actions were uncalled for, right? And if I said something to you as the voice of reason to reel you back in, which I often have to do,
Oh God,
which I often have to do.
Roger, can you please cut him?
Voice of reason, man, he gave himself that title. None of us gave him that title. He gave
acknowledge his title. We acknowledge Rob as being a lover of life.
Absolutely.
Voice of reason, hell no.
And the creator of Nipplegate.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's a long story.
You know what? That's why I'm wearing a different shirt today. I knew that was going to come up.
Hey, man, I think the ladies should chime in and say if they want to see you in that yellow V-neck next week. I think
I don't know,
Rob should chime in and be able to make that request without a T-shirt underneath. They see the yellow V-neck next week.
I think the stripper zebra is going to be pretty popular now. I think that's about to be popular. Rob, new name is Chocolate Thunder. Watch him, ladies.
Look, and since Randy has stole
Randy, look what I have to do.
Get him a fake eyebrow.
You see what I have to deal with it? I'm trying to think. Randy, I'm trying to think of what I could do with my, up in this area. Because I'm from South Side too.
Well, Randy rocks heads. It looks good.
Look, I've had this since '95.
Oh wow. Okay.
My mother hated it at first. This is her thing. I gave you those pretty eyes. I was like, Mama, nobody on your side of the family got pretty eyes. I don't know where you get that from, but it came from Daddy's side of the family. But okay.
Your mama claimed everything good.
Everything good. Not one cousin. There's 40 cousins under me. I'm the oldest of 40. None of them have light eyes. So I'm like, Mom, it's Dad's side. I got 2 cousins on his side, one with green eyes, one with gray eyes, then another one with eyes like mine. It's Dad.
I need you to be okay with it, Mom. It's Dad.
Yeah.
But she got used to it. She hated it at first. Now she loves it. She hates the tongue ring. Her sister told her what it was for. She kept being nosy, and I wouldn't tell her. Her sister told, and I was like, "Why would you tell your sister that?"
Hey, Randy, they say your mom just phoned in and asked us to take you out the show.
I didn't tell her I was on this show because of that. She would really get on there.
You really get on.
Oh my God!
Who grew up with me on the block. They are on here, and they'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, she would get on here, and she wouldn't even do this. She'd get into a video somehow and get him off this thing. Yeah. Look, anybody out here that knows me, am I lying about my mother? Chris.
Roger's dirty. Our producer's dirty. He'll put your mom on. He'll pop her in.
Yeah,
he'll somehow be careful with her way to get her alive, dude.
My mom ain't tech savvy. I had to teach her how to text a month ago. I'm good.
That's all right.
He ain't getting on it.
Hey, Randy, if he put her on, he deserved to have her on. Huh?
Yeah.
Now my brother, if he on here, he'll show up. Yeah, he would.
To all the mothers out there, we are mother lovers.
I love my mom.
Don't be offended.
Love you, Mom.
We love all mothers a lot.
Yeah.
Randy, how often do you get back to Chicago, man?
Special.
Well, I haven't been back in a minute, and then this COVID, I kept wanting to go back, and COVID kicked in, and my sister's a nurse, so she was not letting me fly back and being around my parents, because my parents are older now. My mom is older. I ain't gonna say her age because I'm really in trouble. But my mom, she's older, and my dad, and so she was like, look, I get that you missed them, but could you just stay away until this thing levels out, they get their shots and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, So I haven't been home in a couple years. So
how close are you to Alpharetta?
No,
I'm in LA, but when I was in Florida, I was close to Alpharetta. Yeah, I was close to Alpharetta.
Right, yeah. One of my best friends who sometimes watches, she might be watching tonight. One of my best friends lives in Alpharetta. She speaks highly of the ATL in the ladies' sense. She's always like, because I'm single, she's always like, if you come down here 6 months, you'll be off the market. I'm like,
there are some beautiful women down in Georgia, especially Alpharetta, but I wouldn't date while I was there because that mindset was throwing me off with the eyebrow ring and then them listening to dudes like that. And it just took me a minute to get used to it. By the time I got used to it, it was time for me to come out here and get this going.
Hey, here's a true story. Jay Harris, who's been on the show, he was in Atlanta one time and I was living down there, but I was
Eric Dickerson because I hold my breath every time he starts talking because you just don't know where it's gonna end up. So it's like the way the defense used to hold their breath when Eric Dickerson ran the ball.
So Jay texts me. He's like, "Are you in Atlanta?" I'm like, "No, I'm out of town right now." He was at a day party. Like Atlanta's big for Saturday day parties, and I mean they go in on Saturdays, like at noon, and it goes all the way to the night. And he was at this bar that was very popular. So he texts me. He's like, "I'm at such and such bar." I was like, "Oh, that's a cool place." He texts me back, "God is good." I was like all the time in the ATL, all the time.
The ATL, ATL is good.
God is
if
good.
you're still trying to have fun, ATL is good. If you're trying to be married and settle down, I wouldn't want to get married in ATL because I had women asking me if I wanted to have them and the girl that they dating at the same time. And I'm like, I was cool with that in my 20s, but I'm trying to grow a brand and I need a wife who can grow with me. I ain't trying to have, and I mean, I had a girl who actually like, "Oh, you don't want threesomes?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Can I still date girls?" And I'm just like, it happened 3 times. I was like, man, I hate this city.
Yeah, you know, that didn't happen to me.
I'm hanging out in the wrong. Randy, I'm hanging out in
Atlanta. Wait a minute, them 2 years I was there. Wait a minute, I missed all of that in Atlanta.
Oh, you relocate even whether it was there are only 4 or 5 cities are on my list as possible relocation spots. But now I'm so into growing my business, I don't want to leave. But when I was open to it, I was open to Atlanta. I was open to Louisville. I really love Louisville. I was open to Sacramento because one of my best friends in Sacramento. I was open to either Memphis or Nashville because I had family right in between those. But unlike most guys, I didn't want to relocate as a single dude. You know, my desire would have been to relocate with my wife or my family or whatever. I didn't want to relocate as a single guy. You know, some guys go, "Man, I go down there, it's on," you know, but that was never my thought.
I get that.
I get that.
You have to be in the right match. Go on, Robert. I'm sorry.
I get that too, Shawn, that, you know, because when I was married, I went to relocate to, you know, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. But now my daughter lives in Atlanta. And so I'm ready to go back to Buckhead and hang out, you know, because I know that the next Mrs. Hazzard is going. Right, that is my spot, Glenn.
I love Dantana's.
Oh my God!
I was in North Druid Hill, so I was like 3 minutes from Buckhead, so I loved it. But I went down at the right age because had I gone to Atlanta 10 years before this, we probably couldn't even do this show because I'd have women coming over here. That son of a and just cussing me out. So thank God for knowing when I needed to be in Atlanta when I had some sense.
Yeah, that ain't been good. Yeah,
it
wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good in the 30s.
Hey man, I never went to Freaknik.
Me either. I never went either.
Now,
is it still a Freaknik?
The whole city, those day parties he talking about, women coming in there in bikinis, they coming in there like showing, like I just think girls come in in see-through clothes.
Yeah,
like seriously, they come in, it's like Freaknik.
And then you have like the real, you have the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta people that do appearances at all the parties and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of wild up in there. I rolled up in a bar and this girl was in the parking lot smoking weed. And I'm like, she ain't even looking for the police or nothing. It's like she just out there just doing it. I'm like, this ain't my neighborhood.
Look, I don't understand why they still go to strip clubs there. I stood there. One of my friends owns a smoke shop. I sat outside the smoke shop talking to her, watching girls in the middle of the street doing everything that strippers do. Like they all heard some music and they ran in the street. All of them wore bikinis and everything. And I'm like, why do people go to strip clubs if you can just start right here? I could just throw singles in the street and be like,
Yeah,
I don't know what those strip clubs look like. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't go to strip club. I don't even know.
I
couldn't even tell you what. I rolled up on Magic City only because I was at Old Lady Gang and I passed by. And I'm like, whoa, that little barn is Magic City.
Yeah,
I hit the
club. We can see it. Your nose is growing.
Yeah,
I used to bounce.
Serious? No, that is no lie. I hate them.
You a bouncer, Randy?
Yeah, I used to bounce at strip clubs, so that's why I've seen behind the curtain. So I'm looking like, man, I ain't giving no money to nobody. I know what this is about. Like I've been on the other side of that.
Man, what is your favorite stripper music?
Yeah.
I've never DJ'd at a strip club, Glenn.
Sure, Mel. So, tell us about it.
I've never DJ'd in my years of experience. I've never DJ'd at a strip club ever in life.
So you never DJ'd like a bachelor party where there may have been women that women.
I've never DJ'd a bachelor party. I've never DJ'd a bachelor party.
That's amazing.
You hear me? Glenn, you hear me? I wonder who's watching tonight that Mel is on such good behavior.
I know, really. He is really nice tonight.
It's kind of
I was expecting to hear all kinds of stuff from you when I got on here.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Here we go.
Everybody's talking. I can't talk. Everybody's talking.
Here's the thing. Let's. I'm gonna put myself on mute. Can everybody else put themselves on mute? Mel.
And let Mel talk.
No, it's not that. My responses are contingent upon the subject matter that we have on the show. Tonight has just been all around. I mean, I talked about the Jackson guy. Y'all are talking about DJing a strip joint. I've never done that. You know, I've been to Freaknik before. Didn't miss out there.
Johnson,
you know,
they're just beneath him tonight. You know,
no, it's not even a thing of being beneath me. Y'all are all talking and excited and hyped and in there. So you know, I
don't want to pick on him because I'll get an inbox if I say too much to Mel.
Look,
heaven forbid I pick on Mel.
My DMs are open, so I'm okay if you want to talk about me.
Everybody is single, Randy. I don't know what your status is, but we all are single.
I'm single. I was gonna say, well, maybe Mel, you can give me some advice on how the hell you dating this new world with all the you can't touch nobody, you can't talk to. You talk to them, it's sexual harassment. You stand in front of them too long, you get arrested. Help us out. I've been single for 7 years. Help me out.
Yeah, I got nothing, bro.
Help us out, bro. Come on, help us out. Come on.
I got nothing, dog.
Hey, check this out. I've been watching Boston Legal lately. There is no way they could have made Boston legal since the Me Too movement. It is. I love Alan Shore. He is my favorite character, but he is the biggest misogynist in the world, dude. There's no way they could have made that show, dude. And
I've never seen Boston Legal. I have to check that out.
It's amazing. I always wanted to watch it, never got around to it. Decided to sign up for Hulu a couple of weeks ago, saw it was on there, and I've been watching the first season, dude. It is, and James Spader is one of my favorite all-time actors, dude. It is amazing. Mel, what do you think of James Spader as an actor?
Who's that?
James Spader. You don't. Never mind.
No. So here's the horrible thing about me. As far as being an actor, I don't know actors' real names. I just know them by character.
He currently stars in the Blacklist.
The voice of Ultron.
Blacklist.
He was the voice of Ultron and the Avengers.
Age of Ultron. He's the voice of Ultron. He's very popular for a kink and fetish movie he starred in called The Secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
That was a good movie.
James Spader. He was in Less Than Zero with
Robert Downey.
With Robert Downey. Really good.
Y'all all talking at the same time. I can't hear you. You says it's who?
James Spader. S-P-A-D-E-R. Spader.
Didn't you do something Pretty in Pink or something like that?
Probably did, man. I've been following this teenager.
I know who he is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Congratulations.
That's what you get for us, Mel. That's what you get for us.
Really, Mel. Yeah. Chadwick Boseman won the NAACP Image Award tonight too. So
Eddie Murphy got a Hall of Fame award. I saw that.
Yeah, he did, and Chadwick won for Best Actor.
Hey man, we got about 3 minutes, man. I want to run around the table real quick before we get out of here, and I'm going to start with Mel since he has not said much tonight. If there's anything he'd like to share, just before we get out of here.
I do work out.
He does work out.
No, he didn't just do the text.
What's the question? I'm waiting on the question, bro. I'm waiting on the question.
Your peck popping. Is there anything you'd like to share with the people? And just so you know, I can pop mine too. They might not be as sexy as yours.
Hey, we got 20 seconds before 9:55, so no, I'm good. I love everybody. Thank you all for tuning in every week. You all are amazing.
Actually, we got about 2 minutes based on what I got, but Glenn, come talk to me. What you got?
Yeah, in like 3 weeks, we celebrate our 1 year anniversary. So I'm so happy to be here with you gentlemen. I think the date is like April 25th is when we did our first show or something.
We need to do something special, man. We need to get on the call and figure out what we're gonna do, man. Plan something special.
We definitely do. We need to do something special, but we hope you guys will do it. Message to everybody: please share this. Even later in the week, you can share it. You can go to the Indie TV page and share it. The views really help. So we really appreciate you doing that. It's available on YouTube as well now, so you can share from there. Just follow NDTV. But
1 minute, Robert, what you got?
I got nothing except thank you so much for the people that have inboxed me for your questions. Hopefully we address those. We hope that you'll continue to watch and give us feedback about how we can continue to make this a better series. Thanks so much.
Randy, give me a website or something real quick for people to find you.
You can hit me at randystress.com. That is the main way to catch me. I appreciate being on this show. I had a great time. I need to holler at you because I write songs and I didn't know you sang. So I'm going to have to holler at you too.
Absolutely, man. We absolutely need to have you back, man. You're an awesome guest. I'm not surprised. I dug your energy right out the gate, man. So I'm glad that we connected with you. And I look forward to the next time you're going to be on. Everybody watching Randy hang out, everybody watching, we thank you so much for supporting us and making this possible. We got about 3 weeks to the anniversary. Send us ideas. What you want to see on the 1 year anniversary. We're open to your suggestions. And until then, we see you next Saturday at 9 p.m. CST, Central Standard Time. It's been The Cave, y'all. See you next time.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.